What's happening, friends? Welcome back to the Bogey Ball Society. We got a great one for you today. It's our very first repeat guest. The one, the only Sam Hahn is joining us. It's a super laid-back episode. We caught him at home. He is on his laptop. He's walking around. He tells some stories about his dogs, which we get to see in the episode. I highly recommend watching this one if you can on YouTube, just because he's so entertaining, and he gives a couple of demonstrations using some very, very fancy equipment, glasses cases. And anyway, it was just a blast, and we're really grateful to have him, and I hope you enjoy. All right, we'll see you on the other side.
Hey guys, one more thing. Sorry to keep you from the episode, but I do want to let you know, we did not ask Sam to censor himself, nor did he censor himself. So if you've got little ones around or people who are sensitive to adult language, just a heads up, you might want to put some headphones on for this one. Enjoy.
Kid pitch coaches aren't on the field.
Got it. Okay. Because I'm the only coach that I see that's out there like moving kids' feet. Like this
Sure.
is how your foot should touch the base like this. And oh, you're playing second base. Don't stand on second base. Like I'm moving.
It's a little weird that you're cutting in front of the shortstop and firing the ball over to the first baseman, but
Well, my kid's playing
we'll
first
work
base
on
and he
that.
can catch. So, we got that going for us.
You're actually putting your hands on the kid's feet and moving them?
Oh, 100%.
That's how to get a restraining order. That's not how you coach.
This is my actual question. I'm like, I don't see anybody else doing that, but the kids they can't listen. They're too distracted by everything else. There's one kid eating dirt. There's another kid putting dirt in his hat and then putting it on his head and then laughing. And I'm like, it is funny. You're right. That is genuinely hilarious. I've been doing a lot of circles in the dirt. Like, this is your position. Don't leave the circle. And
I hope you rake the field afterward.
Always. Yeah, always.
Good. Thank you.
I generally try not to spend time with any kids except my own. So
Sure.
I got nothing for you.
That sounds
same. And in my case, like I'm not working that hard to even see them.
yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That's fair. That's fair. Sam, thank you for coming.
Welcome back.
Thank you guys for having me back.
I'm going to ask you up front. I mean, we're all saying welcome back. You've had like a monumental year, right? I mean, with everything that's gone on with the company, with JJ Spawn.
Pretty standard.
Yeah.
Pretty standard stuff, really.
Why? What did you guys do this year?
Well,
but I'm going somewhere with this, Sam.
I didn't win a major.
Just when you thought the year couldn't get any better, you are the first repeat guest of the Bogey Ball Society.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So I'm sure you prepared some sort of statement or some sort of speech.
Now my life is
take it away.
2025 has officially checked the box.
There we go.
Yeah.
Best year ever.
Yeah,
Big
congratulations. You seem very emotional. Yeah.
Yes. I also won long drive in KP at this Hit and Giggle an hour ago, so it's a big day.
Wow.
I'll go on record as saying this is the best day of my life.
There we go. You heard it here.
That's the title. We just found the title. This is the best day of my life.
Well, hold on though. You won long drive.
I did win long drive.
You won long drive.
I did.
But you're a putting expert, which means you must be a short hitter who gets by on their short game, right?
Common misconception. I just don't putt horrendous anymore, and now I putt, pretty well.
Okay.
But no, it was firm out there. I might have hit a sprinkler head or something.
Well, congratulations. Did you win a Pro Shop gift card or something like that?
I believe I did win a Pro Shop gift card. Unfortunately, I couldn't accept it because I had to go find my stupid dog that got out.
Oh, no.
All right. What is a long drive in one of these Hit and Giggles? Like, are we talking 290? Are we talking 320? Like, what's the...
I don't know. It's probably somewhere right between those two, I'd say. It plays pretty firm out here at Tetherow.
Okay.
Wasn't particularly windy. It's probably something like that.
That's
a little
respectable
slope.
drive. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I hit at a respectable distance for a man my age.
Now, are you in the seniors division, or is this everybody?
Not that old, you
No, I know. I
dick.
think I'm older than you. The great thing is I'm older than Hayes, and Hayes is the one who gets called grandpa because his
he
daughter
is
had a
grandpa.
child, so he's officially a grandpa. But
Oh, damn.
yeah. But it makes me laugh because I am the oldest, and somehow I always skate by.
I gotta take my back pill.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've noticed this year a lot. Like, I mean, I straight up whine about my hip after every round of golf I play.
Oh, really?
That's a new thing.
Yeah, it's not a great thing when you finish the 18 and everything's just like, good Lord, I just hurt.
I'm going I'm playing a bunch of golf coming up here in about a week, and including a couple of 36-hole days coming up.
Oh, wow.
I have zero confidence in my ability to do that.
Are you? Is it local, or are you traveling for it somewhere warmer?
No, I'm going east.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing with my brother and a friend, and it's actually I kind of ended up combining 2 trips and playing with my brother and a friend for 3 or 4 days, and then a new friend for a couple of days.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, can you play casually and kind of shut the brain off, or do you watch people putt and just lose your mind if they're doing, you know what I mean?
No, that's a good question. Unless it's with like my guys, who I play with all the time from Lab, I would say it's rare I play a round of golf where a conversation about somebody's putting doesn't, either come, whether it's people are asking me or, or I can't take it. There are times where I just I can't take it. I know I can help somebody. But no, I mean, it all depends on the company, right? Like or, on who I'm playing with and, being in the position I'm in and everything. And, with everybody, knowing what we do, like there are certain rounds of golf where it's pretty high pressure every single putt, like I'm with people that are just expecting me to, make every putt. And I certainly can't putt shitty, like those are
I saw
always,
that guy 3-putt. Those putters suck.
Is there a chance we can get you on a course with Bryson? Just to, he's an exceptional putter, but it's painful to watch. It literally hurts my body to watch him maneuver that putter because he's so locked up.
Well, it's the alignment.
Wild. I mean,
it's the alignment stick that's been shoved right up his butt.
It works. Listen.
His approach is it's amazing. I mean, it's absolutely so when he shows up, he has I think it's a GC quad, and then a certain portion of the time he'll have Quintic as well.
Wow.
And then he's got a yardstick or whatever, and he'll find as flat a putt as he can, or at least one that he can do the math if it's 1 degree up or 1 degree down, and then literally finds how far he needs to take the putter back to hit it X number of feet, and then that's how he calibrates his speed for the week. I mean, he's actually watching the putter head go back a specific distance to generate a specific ball speed. I mean, it's crazy.
That's incredible.
He does putt pretty well. I mean, he putts really well. I don't think it's I wouldn't recommend approaching it that way unless your brain works that way, unless you're somebody whose brain really does, really just get numeric with everything. And but yeah, it's pretty remarkable because he does still have some nice touch.
His hands are kind of incredible. I mean, even just around the green, I'm always impressed with those giant wedges. I always think, oh no, this is going to be, and he's really good. I'm very surprised.
I did find out, somebody told me, we were talking about this the other day. When he won at Wingfoot, his wedges were the same length. They were truly single length. I think it's just a 6-iron or 7-iron length or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I had in my head that was a huge advantage, just the amount of speed that length of shaft would have in the wedges. And he was just playing bomb and gorge at Wingfoot, and he was in the rough all day, but it was fine, and he was just throwing them up in the air. And then apparently that reached a point of diminishing returns and had some trouble around the greens. And then the wedges are now, I think all of the wedges are pitching wedge length. So the one he hit at
Okay.
Pinehurst, I think, was with like at least a on the planet,
More standard.
length.
Yeah.
But yeah,
To your point, we had Marty Jurtson on a few episodes ago who played at Wingfoot, and he said the exact same thing. Like, hey, shockingly, the guy with really upright, long wedges,
right.
managed. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of thought that single length was gonna evolve into being like a wedge length, an iron length, and then like a consistent
It
kind of
will.
long
But then
club
that
driver
wouldn't be
length.
single length, would it?
I said
Or triple
evolve.
length, but
I
at least
said
like
evolve
yeah,
into
it,
something that's not
Yeah.
stepped.
I just like to,
100% it will.
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
just like
think
to fuck with Brian a
Oda
little
is
bit.
actually already doing that. They
Correct.
have a very similar. They have, I think it's 6 through 9.
I think
is
it's 3
one
different
length,
tiers. Yeah.
yeah, and
Okay.
then wedges. All their wedges are the same, and then their long irons are all the same. But
And that was Avoda?
yeah,
Are they the
Mhm.
ones that do Bryson's clubs now?
Yeah,
Am I
they put
thinking
the
of the
I
right
roll on
believe
the
they are.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Molten
okay.
roll. Yeah. I went and did a fitting with them, and it was awesome. It was a really cool experience. And just to
Did it
be able
work
to.
for you?
Yeah, the recommendation. I was having a weird ball striking day where everything was fading like a lot, and that's not usually what I
Right.
see with my irons. So they recommended 4 degrees up, which was a lot up, and then I ended up knocking that back down to 2 because I was missing everything left on the course when I was actually.
Did the curved face yield good forgiving results for you?
The club that they had me hitting in, I was their demo club, and I don't think that had the bulge and roll. I think that was only their.
Oh,
They
okay.
make their own heads.
Regular.
Just standard
Yeah.
like forged heads.
Gotcha. Yeah, I hit a couple shots with the ones with roll on the face and really impressed, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it took a second, to look at them, but yeah, and the
Says the man who
and I-
brought us the 2.1.
well, right. I mean, that's why I have no problem. Most people when they get something like that, they just look at it and say like, "Nah, fuck no," and like
Yeah.
with
So good.
hit it a few times before you
Yeah.
and they just got some testing done, I think, with Mark Timms at Cool Clubs, and had yielded some pretty profound results on off-center strikes.
Those guys, that testing protocol is awesome.
It's very good.
If you are listening to this or watching this and you haven't gone to Cool Clubs, their YouTube channel is fantastic.
Yeah, and they got a new robot, I think, that's doing some cool shit.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So, I mean, I just held this up. I just want to say your specialty cover game. So this is the 2.1. This was the, I believe, alien ship that my kids got me for my birthday last year. I purchased this one, which is the single greatest head cover I've ever seen. It's the open edition. I honestly, I was telling Hayes before we got on here, I don't know if you used a different leather. He suggested maybe it was an endangered species because it is so much nicer. Like the quality of the leather is, and I really think
first of all, they're not leather. None of them are leather. They're all plastic crap. Does the
That's unbelievable.
Well, Sam, I support small business. Let's talk about L.A.B.
Yeah, the new, to your point, the quality is getting better. We've been working with a new manufacturer called PRG, who have been in the business forever. And Stephen Riley is one of kind of the lesser known but widely deeply respected golf industry guys. He makes a lot of shit that you don't think about that just gets made in the golf world.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're crushing it. I liked that open head cover there.
I
That
just
one was
it's
pretty cool. I don't have
it's
anything to do with the head covers at all.
Well, I'll still give you credit.
But
I
appreciate it.
But it's I mean, every time the head covers come out, it's incredible to watch how quickly they sell out.
Oh, it's fucking crazy, man.
I mean, I had an alarm set for that one. There was just something about it. The gold, the plaid, the stitching, everything. I just was like, I want that. That's the one I want. And
oh, it's absolutely Looney Tunes, and
incredible.
we struggle with just determining how many to make and how big a deal we want to make about these certain things. I'll tell you a fun inside story relating to head covers, and just kind of company values and stuff. So would have been probably either I think I want to say it was November of 22 or maybe early 23. Um, we just brought on a woman named Sarah Johnson to be our chief of staff, and we had to that point just it was just a fucking mess. We were however many of us, 12, 15 of us, all just figuring out what to do, and everybody's kind of doing everything, and there's no actual organization. By the time Sarah came around, we've got quite a few more employees. We know that we're going to need to like quadruple in employees over the course of the next 6 months and everything, and so she's trying to help professionalize the business. And we have our first offsite, where we all just get together away from the factory, nothing but
Yep.
future strategy to be discussed. And before we got into any of the future stuff, she's like, "So what are your company values?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" And she's like, "Every company has a set of values that they stick to in their thing." And so we do an exercise there, which starts with making a mission. What is the
Mm-hmm.
mission of Lab Golf? And it was supposed to be a 10 or 12-minute exercise. And, and first person goes is like to make golf more fun. The next person goes to make golf more fun. Prior to this exercise, we had been talking about head covers and we were kind of arguing about them because like there was only so many resources at the time and so much time to put into whatever. And like you don't think that there's much that goes into making a head cover, but it's actually quite surprising. It's a lot,
Sure.
Between going
Mm-hmm.
back and forth on designs and then sampling, waiting for the order to come in. And, it's especially with a small team, it's a lot. And everybody's like, but everybody loves head covers and, they're whatever. And I'm like, it's just not us. Like, I don't really give a shit about that, that kind of stuff. And, so then Sarah was like, well, let's switch gears and let's do the mission stuff. And so one person goes and we say, to make golf more fun. They say to make more golf more fun, to make golf more fun. And it wasn't sitting right with me. And the reason that like to make golf more fun wasn't sitting right with me was because like yeah, I have fun when I golf sometimes, but like I don't play to have fun. Like
Yeah.
I play like for the journey, for
Mhm.
the competition and
Mhm.
internal competition. I'm not particularly outwardly
Yeah.
competitive, but and like and the discipline of the golf swing and the exercise of the brain and all that stuff, which yes, at times is a blast and I laugh and I have fun on a golf course, but it isn't why I play.
Yeah.
And so and ultimately the mission we decided was to make golf a little easier. And then if it makes golf easier, if that makes it more fun for you, that's great. If it makes it more cerebral, it's a much more, for everybody thing. But the point was, the reason I couldn't wrap my head around head covers is like, I just wasn't approaching what we do as like this fun thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what head covers are about. It's just about making people smile. And like, I've certainly come to respect and and relate more with that customer who's setting an alarm to get these things. And I see the joy that it brings them, the joy that it brings the people who make them. Like, internally,
Mhm.
Yeah.
our
Right.
creative team loves that shit,
Yeah.
and it's so much fun. And it's such a cool little niche part of the game that I used to just despise.
Sure.
Like, the head cover thing just made me so crazy. But I get it now. Anyway,
I'm throwing them away right now. They're just
no, by
No,
all
I'm just
means.
kidding. Well, it's funny because like
Great that
I
people are brought
never
to.
I was the same way as I like my driver head covers they're nothing bespoke. It's what comes with. Something has
The
to be
driving,
really
yeah.
bad for me to want to swap it out. There are a few on the market that are terrible. But it's one of the things that I noticed right away in all of the forum reviews, all of the different reviews, was everybody talked about the quality of the head covers. Right, just the stock head cover that comes with the putter is a high quality piece of equipment to guard your expensive piece of equipment. So
Sure.
it's noticeable in the industry when someone chimps out on that and
Mhm.
throws on
Sure.
a
Yeah. I mean,
$3,
and it's
you
tough
know.
to get it right, man. Cause like, it's not like we make them, like you do your best,
Yeah, of
you
course,
do
right.
your best to vet the different manufacturers, all of whom are going to send you the best of the stuff that they've made.
Right.
And then you
Sure.
roll the dice and you take your chances and 20,000 head covers show up and you hope they look like the ones that are in the samples. A lot of times they're not.
Ugh.
And, my favorite head cover by far, it drives me crazy that it doesn't land this way as a consumer, is the stock Mez head cover, is that nylon, the ballistic nylon one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's by far the most functional and the most sturdy, head cover we have. It protects the putter the best.
Yeah.
The magnets never come out of it. It's instantly broken in. It doesn't wear in the sun. Like, it's like the best freaking one. But everybody's like, such an expensive putter and cheap head cover. It's actually more expensive. That ballistic nylon stuff's actually more expensive than the PU that's on
Right.
that's on those, but nobody likes it. But I imagine,
because everybody thinks that it's real leather as soon as you feel something that's leather-y, and assume that that's more expensive than a fabric.
Right. And then everybody also assumes that nylon's, cheap, and it ain't.
Yeah.
So I imagine you guys wanted to spend the first 20 minutes talking about head covers, right? So
absolutely.
We have a real,
now I
real
can check that box off.
Following.
Well, I need something
We'd
to
like
edit
to thank
out
our
of these
sponsor,
episodes.
Joanne Fabrics.
That's right. All right. So it's been kind of a big year.
It's been a big year.
Before we dig into like all of the highlights that I think of, do you have a particular highlight, Sam, that you're like, this is the
besides being the repeat guest on the Bogey Ball Society,
obviously,
and winning the long drive today,
and the long drive today. It's a hell of a day. It really was a hell of a day.
Yeah, definitely the U.S. Open.
Okay, great.
Like, without, it wasn't even close. Like
that photo of JJ Spawn is just like, that has to be blown up and hung up somewhere
with the putter in the air.
We're actually going to muralize the whole thing. It's going to be a wall.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I still want to know if it was balanced when the putter landed. That's what I was.
It was checked the following week for sure.
I was gonna say, did he come back and say that his had a little click in it?
Yeah, right.
Did you guys see the video Liam and I made recreating it and throwing the putter?
No, I didn't see that one.
Like, we did a giveaway of like an exact replica of his putter. He and I recreated. I was the caddy. Liam was, hitting the putt and like jumped and like, like took like 3 or 4 shots of the putter getting thrown, and like that thing must have been fucked up. But it certainly scratched up. And then anyway,
tell us
the
about
US
your
Open
Sunday though.
It was
because you wasn't. JJ did not get off to a good start. And
no,
then the rain delay helped him.
That's even though I think
it was Adam's tournament to win. I mean, like, I woke up this morning. All of us woke up this morning like, this is fucking Adam's time, and we've been working with him for a very long time, and he and I gotten reasonably close over the years. I had like an emotional attachment to this one, and I was so excited about the way he was playing. Like, he was playing with passion, and he was fiery, and he was stoked, and it was awesome. And then of course loved that JJ was in the mix, and Lucas wasn't. Is that right? That Lucas ended up at a top 10 there, didn't he?
I believe so.
I think so.
I'm gonna double check it right
I think so. We had another guy in the mix, and like, I was like, wow, this should be a fun Sunday, and I definitely knew enough not to watch it with anyone, and so I was so I was alone, and I was certainly pulling for JJ, and wanted to see him do well, and it's just such a breakout year for even without the win, even to end up I think he was in the final group or second to last group or something like that. I mean, just another, with what he did at the Players and just the whole season in general, like, he had a ton of top 10s, and so it was just like, there. But for the first hour, my storyline was Adam, or 2 hours really, and JJ got just fucking hosed. I mean, like, how could not have been more clear that the golf gods were saying, this is not your time.
Yeah.
And the break with the rake and the divot and just everything was a mess. And then Adam's playing a little flat and honestly not playing so good. And ended up, I think him and JJ were tied at one point, and then the rain delay hits, and I was like, oh, this is good for JJ, because nobody took off, and he was still, even after a 5-over start, still within 2 or 3 or whatever.
Incredible.
And then it was about midway through the back 9 before things got real excited. And then when he knocked it on 17, to the moment that I knew that he was going to win was when he knocked in, because he got that eagle putt past the hole. Like, that was such a moment, like, to like hit a good aggressive putt was downhill putt, but like still, it he could have just limped that one down there, and he gave it a chance to go in, and it rolled solidly 4.5 feet by, and like at Oakmont, 4.5 feet is our everyday 12 feet. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard. And he put that thing right in the middle with some pace, and knew he was going to hit the fairway in 18. He's a probably one of the best drivers of the ball in the game right now, because he was always straight. Now he's like low key long.
Yeah.
And got a little nervous when he knocked it to 65 feet or whatever. Like, this could be a not great look for L.A.B. And to no fault of our own, like it's a 64-foot putt at Oakmont.
Also, with those camera angles, they are on, like, that image is the ball with the putter right behind it as he hit, like, every time he took a putt. It's like,
it was perfect.
Oh my God.
It was perfect. And then when Victor's ball landed right behind his and he was going to get the read, I was starting to feel pretty good. And and then when it went in, like I totally lost consciousness basically for for a minute or so, where I just ran up and down my hall just screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. And at the top, like I hurt my voice, like real, like guttural fucking screaming. And that moment was honestly like the release of 8 years of just it's a lot of fun, and it's been a cool journey or whatever, but it's mostly just fucking hard. And and what happened in in that moment, it all fell out. And like I think a lot of it had to do, so at that point the transaction that we were working on was all but imminent, but it wasn't closed yet. And like I knew things were going to change, obviously, when it happened. And like it was just so amazing to sort of check that final box before it was on to the sort of next chapter of L.A.B. To like that, to just to bookend my specific role in ownership and leadership of the company, starting from where we were, Bill and I, to a dude making one of the all-time most iconic putts in major championship history. And it's just, it was awesome.
We took my family camping, and I was listening to the broadcast the whole way up with like an earpiece so the kids didn't get bored. And I was like gripping the steering wheel the whole way up, because we lost connection, so I couldn't listen. And I was so I dropped the kids off. We unpack. I realized we forgot we forgot something. I drove back to the center of the little town, and we're up in the sequoias in the middle of nowhere. And I pull in, and I've got it on the car radio, and I'm listening in it, and I realize he's birdied 17. I missed that. He's on 18, and so to get to listen to that call and the unbelievable
the radio
crowd
would have been
noise,
pretty cool.
it was genuinely incredible, an incredible moment. And I think I sent you a polo or something right after, or a text or something, like just like, oh my God, like I felt like somehow I was connected. It was incredible.
Everybody did. My phone was the craziest thing. Just
did it
like
literally
sitting there
explode?
watching.
Because I imagine it like a Mission
I mean,
Impossible.
basically, like it was all going too fast to actually send individual notifications and stuff. And everybody was just so nice, and like the number of like just amazing people that
So
reached
cool.
out,
Yeah.
to that they noticed it. It was just so cool. And the number of it was cool to have so many people reach out, knowing what that meant to to everybody involved. And it was a crazy thing.
Yeah, it
What
was
were
an
you gonna ask,
extraordinary
Ace?
moment.
Well, I'm just curious the story of how you got a L.A.B. in the JJ Spawn's hands. Like, how did that come about? If you can go into that.
Yeah, it's actually a decent story. So I've always been a big fan of his. I actually randomly ended up watching him at Q School years ago, and I was like, that guy's got beautiful golf swing, and just liked his game. And he was also one of the guys that, like, when you pass him on the range, obviously they're all incredible. Not all of them are standing on the range like hitting these absolute flush seeds,
Sure.
perfectly right at the targets. They sound like good players, whatever. And then there's like 15% of them that are just fucking flushers, and you
Sure.
can hear it from 30 yards over. And he's one of those guys. So I always stopped and, listen to him, watch him hit balls. And I was just always a fan. Liam got a link into his hand at Bay Hill in probably 23,
Okay.
either 23 or 24. And I was so excited.
Cool.
And because I'd never been able to have an in with him, when I was out there, and I was so excited. And he lost 6 shots to the field in one round of golf with the link putter at Bay Hill.
Ouch.
It was -6, like literally couldn't fucking hole it out from 18 inches like 3 times. So like, welp, there goes JJ Spawn. And then, but Liam and him had just a nice baseball connection, I think, and a nice relationship. JJ is a great guy and loves talking baseball. And Liam was a professional baseball player. And
right.
so I just think they just got chatting and just started farting around with DF3 one day, and it took. I want to say his first round with it was Sony, and right out of the gate he played well. Like he just,
Okay.
he hasn't finished many seasons inside the top 150 in putting.
Yeah.
120 anyway. He's really struggled. And what was interesting for him that's a little bit different than a lot of people that start finding success. A lot of people really get stoked at sort of the just confidence that they can knock them in from 8, 10, 12 feet. The big one for JJ is lag putting was really poor. And he was leaving himself a lot of, outside of 5 feet after, some of his approach putting. And what he noticed was just the consistency across the face where he wasn't making great contact a lot of times. And this just kind of, helped him get away with it more often. And then when you get away with it more often, you start being more target oriented. And when you get more target oriented, you start hitting the center of the face more often.
Yeah.
So it really just, kind of led into it. He's got a couple of coaches, and everybody works pretty hard. I played with him at Colonial,
Rad.
at the Pro-Am, and he was just rolling it great. And the only thing I had to say was, you just you're starting them straight, hit it like you mean it. And picked up the speed a little bit, and putting got even a little better from there. And then he started working with I can't remember who, so a guy that's regularly out on tour. And then he went just, full tilt. He didn't putt great in the playoffs, but before the playoffs started, he was 30th in the world in strokes gained putting.
Holy
It's
smokes.
just crazy.
Yeah. Did so that Sony 2025, like that's new this year? Incredible. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, now you described it. Sometimes getting a guy into a lab involves a little bit of off-season dabbling, but he just started gaming it right away.
You know what? Actually, let me check something really quick. I might not be accurate on that because I think he had it at the Sanderson Farms last year, which means
While we're holding, I can show off a DF3.
What's your alignment?
me.
No, I'm just laughing because he just held up a green DF3, and I'm like,
Yes.
but that's my
Yes.
DF3.
But it's not.
Don't make it weird, Sam.
I
We're
got
just all
We're just rocking DF3s here.
No, he did not have it. That's fun. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it was Sony this year.
Cool.
Okay. What are you looking up that you can tell that?
So we get a Daryl survey report every year, and we noticed that the numbers were way down for the Sanderson this year. So somebody sent out an email of who we had last year, none of whom were playing, that are still, just because they all
got it.
Or
They all took it
not
up.
needing to.
You made me
rock the
nervous, like you
Sanderson
had this
Farms.
like running ledger of who's gaming your stuff and who's not.
That's right.
It's this little black book.
Well, no, I mean we do. I mean, effectively, we do. The Daryl survey tracks
Sure.
everything, so
Yeah.
we can look up. I don't have access to the actual inside. I mean, I think I do, but I wouldn't know how to do it. But
It's like that
the
list of people
tour
that
guy
kill
sends
from-
out a little report every week, and
Got
Mhm.
it. Speaking of forgiving off the face, so I sort of go back and forth between the 2.1 and the 3. Just
Oh, I didn't know you're doing that.
yeah, just for fun. Like if I'm putting around the house or a thing, and I've gamed the 2.1 last 2 weeks just just because I felt like I needed a change. A lot of our greens are punched, and I wanted to just know that it was going to go in the very, very specific direction I wanted to, and play pink plinko as it goes. But my 5-year-old was like, "That's huge." Like, he noticed how big it was. And I was like, "It is. You're right." And he said, "Can you hit 2 at the same time?" And I said, "Let's find out." And I put 2 balls down, and I hit, but they both went in over and over and over again. The weird thing is, the ball that's on the toe always goes in first. And I don't know if that's, so I'm hitting one out of the toe and one out of the heel, and they're both going in, but the toe is getting there about a ball faster. Is there any?
Do we want the physics explanation for this?
Yes.
I was going to say, my guess is you're hitting it with a slightly closed face. You're getting it off the toe
No.
first, and then the club's slowing
No,
down.
it's that. Okay, how do we do this? All right, so
You don't have to leave. It's fine.
no, I'm just getting some props.
That is one clean dog.
Right.
It's a
Hey,
very
that one,
clean
lay down,
pooch.
That
boy.
one's no, it's this. This is the asshole right here.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, I can smell it from here.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she has 2 fucking flowers.
This podcast is sponsored by Purina. Thank you.
Okay, so oh yeah, pipe E's in there. That's good.
Is that for your hip? The massage gun?
This is your. This is your. Yes, it is. Thank you. All right, so this is the putter head. This is the shaft. We'll just pretend it's. Yeah, we can do it at a 90 degree angle,
65.
so,
Right. Exactly.
So the putter's swinging on an inclined plane, right?
Yep.
Which makes the face open relative to the target. So if we come back to it, right at the center, right when we're trying to, right where we're trying to make impact.
Yes.
You can picture it. If there's a ball over here and a ball over here, the putter is actually further forward than where it started when it actually makes impact, right? Because there's space between the ball.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're putting the ball out on the toe and the ball out over here, because of the inclined plane, the toe is simply getting to the ball first.
Ah.
If you hit one off of the center and the heel, the center one will still get there faster.
Yeah. Slightly, but less noticeable.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, if you put what gets interesting about this is if you did it like it is on most putting robots, where they swing it, even though the shaft is on an inclined plane, the joint that they swing on is not.
Mhm.
So they basically make like a Dave Pell stroke where you hood it on the way back and go on the forward.
Oh, interesting.
They go the same speed at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Because that ultimately was going to be my question. Is the toe somehow hotter than the heel, which doesn't make any sense in my brain because
if anything, if anything, the heel on 99.9% of all putters is generally going to be a little hotter than the toe.
Interesting. Okay. But it was repeatable and over, and then my daughter came over and she's like, "Wait, how is that happening?" I was like, "I don't know, but it's awesome." Like it felt like a party trick. So, yeah. Oh, cool.
I'm just gonna wait to see who the first person to comment and ask if the glasses case and whatever you're using, if that was balanced.
Of course,
that's right.
Or if I know how to fucking eyeball this center of mass, dude. Thing was dialed.
Sam, I'm almost nervous asking you about this stuff because I hate to I almost felt bad for the last time, and we're not going to spend too much time on it. But if you recall, the last time you were on here, we asked you about some of your competing products that had come out from other companies that were kind of jumping on the zero torque train, right? And then that podcast published, and the hits just kept on coming. We all held
there's
up
like 800.
Yeah, well, and it's gotten
what
worse.
was out when we spoke?
We specifically
Allen,
talked
right?
about the Allen, the even roll, reverse hosel, zero torques. And then the what's the Bettinardi? The antidote.
The
antidote.
Yeah,
which you had hit. I don't think was out
that
yet.
is a good name.
Yeah.
But I from my vantage point, it got even more blatant lately. So you can so now there is an Odyssey version of this without the hole, right?
It's
And
completely
then I'm
different. It's
seeing
completely different, Hayes.
right.
It doesn't
And
have a
now I'm
hole.
seeing
Right?
I'm pretty sure Odyssey and I know PXG now have a press grip.
Yeah.
What the hell goes on in the golf industry that they can get away with what seems to me like from an outsider's perspective, very, very blatant just knockoffs.
Yeah, patent infringement. I can't speak to it specifically.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm just not allowed to if there's anything going on. But
Yeah.
every potential infringement, the equation that you have to sort through is just the cost benefit analysis, and like
Okay.
it's extremely rare that you can get somebody to full on stop making something.
Sure.
Like, and the cost to get to that result is significant. Like, in one of the potential cases that we were looking at between 1.5 and 3 years, and between $3 and $7 million. And
Wow.
and then the outcome there is likely a royalty. So
Right.
even if it's retroactive, it's not like it's a $50 royalty. It's like a couple bucks,
Wow.
So how many putters do they need to be selling, for it to ultimately have the cost benefit analysis, particularly, like around, some of the balancing stuff. And we are still looking, we look at everything, and we vet everything. Balancing stuff is complicated, and patents are, ultimately decided by a jury, a judge, whatever, and uh, it's tough. With like, ideally, you want to find this sweet spot where you make a patent where if you make it too broad, it's just not defendable, and
Mhm.
if you make it too narrow, it's too easy to get around. And so, our patents are good, but each scenario and the nature of the potential infringement and everything, just send us to the drawing board, where we got to figure out if it's worth our time. Some of them will be, some of them won't be. But to your point, like, what's going on in the industry that this is okay? It's not, and it's not like, it's not a normal industry. There are industries where there's hyper competition and a blatant just lack of consideration for the law, or just morality.
Yeah.
And this industry's um horrible,
Yeah.
and the people that make the decisions that they make um are just horrible. Like, they just don't care, and they um and I understand that, like, they have jobs to do, man. And like, I mean, especially look at a company like Odyssey, man. Like, that's a huge business, like a
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
huge, huge business. And they see a single company with a single, two pieces of technology that are impacting, um, the way that they do business, and like,
Yeah.
what choice do they have? So it's the same cost benefit analysis we're having. It's the same that they have, which is like, let's assume we'll get sued, and I'm not saying they're infringing. I'm
Sure.
just to be clear, there's
Yeah.
any number of them that may or may not be, but say it was them, like, um, they go through the same thing. It's like, it might be worth us getting sued,
Yeah.
because we'll make more money in the meantime. And,
Yeah.
so who knows? What I do, want to, like, the Odyssey Max, the one that looks like the DF3 without the hole, like, I thought that was fucking hilarious. And
Right.
like,
I thought it was a
I am
joke.
like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people did.
The-
And like, that was super embarrassing for them. I didn't give a shit. And I don't really care. Like, I think that the design patent, so there's different kinds of patents. There's utility patents, where somebody comes up with a functional technology, and the utility of that technology is patented. And then there's design patents, which is how something looks. And design patents, to me, are kind of, I feel like they're a waste of time. We're starting to do them more just as a matter of just general practice. But like, to get around a design patent, all you have to do, it has to be 10% different. That Max putter just because the hole by itself
because
is
it doesn't
technically
have a
not.
hole.
That's it.
Even if we did have a a design patent on it, it's not infringing.
So it can be
And
90% the same, but just
Mhm.
10% different. That's it.
On a design patent, yes.
Wow. Okay.
And
I didn't realize it was that
and
broad.
so and it's also a weird thing. Like, how do you determine 10% different?
Right.
On like it's a really weird thing to try and defend. And so I um and I don't really I think of it in terms of music, man. Like, I was a musician and I started playing music in the late 90s and the early 2000s. And like by the late 90s and early 2000s, with the, basic advent of rock and roll, in the early 40s, um, every chord progression's been put together.
Yeah.
Like we've so what's left is organizing them, rearranging them a little differently and adding your voice to it and your flavor. And I feel like the same with design patents for is like um shapes, notes, colors. Like you can't nobody gets to own those things. I think that the way that the USPTO works on giving people like a runway, like a lot of when the copycat conversation was happening online, you saw a lot of people would see the Max and be like, how dare they copy this thing? And then invariably every time the next comment is, well, everybody's been copying Ping for
Yeah.
40
That's
years.
right.
They didn't until his design patent ran out. Like that's one thing that people forget. Like
Is that
they
right?
absolutely, like, Ping had a very long runway of having that shape belong to them and only them, while the industry was acting ethically, and there wasn't
Wow.
quite enough money in putters for anybody to give a shit to
Yeah.
enough to go copy somebody else's thing. Um, so I think it's nice to like give somebody who comes up with something special a nice runway to go do it, and then from there, it's up to the companies to stay ahead of it.
Yeah.
When I spoke to you guys a year ago or whatever it was that, I was upset about the stuff that I was seeing, like it's been a journey getting comfortable with all that stuff. And like,
Yeah.
this is in no way, shape, or form a political statement or support of this man in any way, shape, or form. But Elon Musk, has a shtick on patents. Um, that's very interesting. I mean, here's a guy whose entire existence is based on innovation. He doesn't file patents.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
he's just like, they're a waste of time, they're a waste of energy, they're frustrating to deal with. And if you just keep inventing better shit than the guy that you're competing with, you don't need patents. So that's kind of
Interesting.
mostly where we're at. We do
Yeah.
have an IP team that's going to keep doing stuff, but we know the other thing too, like internally, can't possibly imagine how distracting it is to like be engaged with IP shit and
Yeah, it's gotta be
like
exhausting.
just trying to manage.
Yeah.
Oh, it's exhausting and
Yeah.
emotional and frustrating, and it's just like so. And good news is, like, whereas I used to have some deep involvement, I personally, we've got in-house engineers who's
That's
our
great.
patent specific people, and then a whole legal team full of people that deal with that shit, so that it's out of my brain because it makes me crazy. So my only drive around all of it, as I see the competition, which is getting way better every day, we just gotta stay out in front of them.
Yeah.
I will say that the best review that I heard about that particular putter was in a Peter Finch video, where I know he used to game L.A.B and then he went with Titleist, and I was a little heartbroken that he went a full bag, but he played two long drives. He played Borgmeyer, and I can't remember what the woman's name is. Cassie Meyer? No, Cassandra something. Doesn't really matter. But Borgmeyer was.
Samsonite.
Boy, I knew it started with an S. But Borgmeyer was playing that particular putter, and every single time he hit it, the audio that came through the video, and I don't think I can honestly say I've never noticed the audio of a putter on one of those videos. It was so bad that the person that he was playing with, his own teammate, kept saying, "What is that? Why does it sound like that? That's terrible." At least 3 times in the video.
On the Odyssey.
It is amazing. Like, it is worth watching that video in particular just to hear her own feedback on her partner's putter. It's delightful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing was hot garbage. I mean,
It was
When we
Well,
actually got them in hand, I just couldn't believe how rushed and poorly put
Mm.
together that piece of equipment was. The new ones I just saw in WRX look sweet. They just came out with
I
a,
agree. I think they look actually
um,
designed.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the square to squares
Yeah.
with the number 7 and all that. But
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I saw him, honestly, my reaction was basically like, well, once I got past, okay, this is real. This wasn't a joke. Like, it's like giving up. It's like we surrender.
right,
We'll just do what they did. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah, I
it's
mean, and
I lost a lot of
that was a
respect for the
big.
company.
Oh, I think a lot of people did. I mean,
Yeah.
it was not a good look for them. I think, sending us the cease and desist on the broomstick thing was that not a good look for them. I mean,
Yikes.
they were kind of waving a white flag, and looks like they're on a little bit of a better path now. But yeah, man. I mean, uh,
Well, I just try to remember.
I was offended for the customer
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
of just
Mhm.
how much contempt they must have for their customers that they put that piece of shit out there. I mean, it was just,
Yeah.
it swung bad, it felt bad, it looked bad, like they just gave no consideration and just took everybody for idiots that they would just buy those things and they didn't. But when I met with you guys last, the one thing that we hadn't seen yet was that the competition has done some pretty extraordinary things for our business. Like,
Yeah.
you know, TaylorMade, Odyssey, not quite Titleist yet, but Ping sort of adjacently in that space
Sure.
with their onset stuff and
Yeah.
whatever, just validated that everybody who
Yeah.
may have thought, "Are these guys crazy?" Now they are all like, "No, they're not crazy. Everybody else is doing it."
Well, don't
So,
forget Temu
I
because
think
they
Temu,
are
yes.
they,
mm,
I was going to follow it up, but I don't even think it's worth it because it's so
No.
blatant. They're literally putting your name on their putters and selling them for
dude, it's such
$149.
fucking bullshit. It's so
It's
frustrating
it's
that it's
pretty
somehow possible.
astounding that is
It's
at all
astounding.
possible. Yeah.
It's
Um.
such garbage. Yeah, we're working on it.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Let's.
then I will say, hold
Yeah.
on,
Go
one
for it.
thing. I know you mentioned kind of giving people what they want, and there is something coming out soon from you guys. The purple putters
Hmm.
are coming soon, and I know there's going to be a line of people setting up their alarms for those. But who's going to be the first to copy you guys with purple putters? Who do you think it's going to be?
Somebody already did actually. Betting already on their mallet antidote. I saw at Superstore they had a range of
No.
colors. They did purple, orange, and something else. And um, again,
Our
like
buddy Josh,
it's
who's
annoying and it is what it is. But like, we don't own purple.
no, of course not.
Like,
But you should. It should be yours.
That's
It
right.
should be yours.
Our buddy Josh has one of the purple ones, and he was vaguely disappointed that it wasn't a one time only thing because he everywhere he goes he gets asked about that purple putter. Where did he get
yeah,
it? How did he get it? Is it special? And he's like, no, it was a limited time thing. He was like, oh, I'm not going to be special anymore. But
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
um,
we'll do some special, once or twice a year. We'll do a small run of a random color or something like that.
Hmm.
hey, I want to jump into the heel shafted Oz because that one definitely took me by surprise.
Yeah.
I thought for sure I was going to see an insert in something else before I would see any other heel. How did that? Because I was genuinely under the impression that the one of the things that make labs is that center shafted. It's way easier to balance. How did you guys figure out the heel shafted thing? Because
It's
I know that's
definitely
a
way easier to balance.
no way.
Yeah, no, it's easier to balance center shafted for sure. I mean, that's why it took
It's
so
easy.
long
Okay, got it.
to come out. Yeah, way easier. Particularly at a large range of lie angles.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you've seen it, but like the accommodation that we had to make to be able to accommodate all those lie angles was the riser, the hosel for your 65s is like this long, and then for your
Hmm.
74s, it's like this long.
Mm.
oh wow. Okay,
And because we have to get the shaft axis pointing, at a pretty
still to the middle.
specific spot. And
Yeah.
so if you make it more upright, you got to make it higher so that it points at the same spot.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a pain in the ass. There was the lie angle issue that we had to solve for. And then there was uh kind of a little bit about what we were talking about when we were talking about your experiment with the hitting two balls and stuff. The reason that the hosel or the heel is generally hotter is because there's more mass over on the heel because of hosels.
Got it.
And so uh when you know, like there is some precedent for toe up putters that are, you know, that are heel shafted. Odyssey did a toe up line axis one, you know,
Yep.
was kind of a heel shafted thing.
Yep.
The thing that you see is sort of this graduated sweet spot where the heel's like crazy hot because they put so much weight in the heel to make the toe go up, and then the toe is like dead. So
Okay.
Mm.
the way the way we solved for it was actually pretty simple. It was just about taking mass out of the heel so that it was
Oh,
and
that's
taking weight
cool.
out of the heel, which our engineers were just brilliant and did with different
That's
material.
really
So
cool.
rather than stainless, they pulled 35, I think, grams out of the heel by using a pretty specific type of aluminum that was milled a pretty specific way so that it would be sturdy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 35 grams is significant. That's
It was a
not
lot.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I could have that number wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was it.
That's so
No,
cool.
it was a ton, and it made it so that, like, it's still a little hotter on the heel than the center shafted Oz, but negligible, and
Wow.
so,
Mm.
you know, and I had nothing to do with any of it. It's, you know, it's Brian Parks and
Okay.
I'm sorry, Kevin Martin, that are our engineers that made all that work, and creating one single thing, one single lie with, you know, 2 or 3 different lengths in this, you know, sort of, torque space, low torque space, isn't that hard. The hard part is being able to do everything.
Sure.
So anytime we come up with a basic concept, that's like phase 1, and that's kind of the easy part. The next part is figuring out, this is something we can do on a massive scale at every length, at every lie, and every style of putting, you
Awesome.
know, both hands and on and on.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, it was genuinely, I was like, I didn't see that on my bingo card in any way. I was really
Mhm.
stunned, and I think it's pretty brilliant because it's a complaint a lot of people have. Like, I can't get used to a center shaft. I can't get used to it. I can't get, and I'm like, well, now you don't have to.
Yep.
That's awesome.
No, it's pretty dope. I didn't like it at all at first just because I'm so used to the center shaft. Like I'm so my whole thing is about like hitting the ball with the bottom of the shaft, basically. I just try
Yeah.
and slice the ball in
Yeah.
half with the shaft. And then HS took a minute to get used to. And then I finally got one now that I'm actually like kind of loving.
I
Yeah.
I feel like every time I talk to you, you have a new one that you're like, I think I'm in love with it. Last time it was a broomstick. Then it's, you know, like
Yeah.
that's the way to do it.
Well, I'm instead of a slut.
Hey, Sam, we've had you for an hour. You got time for one or two more? We'll try to be quick. So the private equity investment, you know, you've given plenty of interviews, and you know, folks can Google the Wall Street Journal and find, you know, the mechanics of it. What I wanted to ask you was, were
No,
you
I
prepared?
don't personally have $200 million.
Okay,
That's not
That's
how
all
it
our
works.
time. Thanks so much for joining us.
and then question two, what were you prepared for the emotional reaction that you got from lab users? I mean, some folks out there were like convinced that here's the end of lab quality, and you know, stick a fork in it, and like you would have sworn that you ran over their dog. I mean, and I think it's a compliment to you because you really, you know, the social media and
Yeah.
the
And
loyalty that your
the
brand
customer service
generated.
that you guys, I gotta say,
Yeah,
I think I saw a lot of comments about there goes the customer service, there goes
Mhm.
the quality
yeah.
control. Yeah,
But I mean, it's a credit to you. I mean, you
I
built a
think
very,
so. I
very
think
loyal
agree. Yeah.
base.
Yeah, something that people were really dependent on. So no, I was not prepared for it, and I was literally not prepared for it. So it was
Mhm.
not. We had never intended to make a press release. Yes, it was kind of the worst kept secret in golf, but without, you know, an actual confirmation, um, it was just kind of faded off into rumorsville or whatever. And then, you know, just kind of a boo boo on social media where it got confirmed. And yeah, it sucked. I mean,
Mm.
um, it sucked. I mean, you know, just finishing up the transaction, like it was 7 months. It was 7 months of a full-time second job,
Wow.
and uh, and it was already very emotional and already very intense, just internally. Sure, of course, an extraordinary accomplishment, and a lot of people made a lot of money, and it's a life-changing event. And then for it to end up online the way it did, yeah, it was horrible. And I definitely was not in an emotional position to be uh as grounded as I normally am about social media stuff, when just people who I interacted with, who are
Yeah.
in my
Right.
fucking DMs on Facebook asking me for putting tips, calling me a sellout, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It really sucked. And then yeah, it was a really hard week. And I was traveling too at the time with my family, and it was a bummer. But the dust settled like it does, and the positive that came out of it was like, we've been underdogs forever, and we've gotten so much support from the world, and from the consumer and from the golf community, after we took our licks, for a while there
Yep.
early. And then we got so much support, and everybody was so excited. And, I will say, way more people than were fucking, being assholes online were being unbelievably nice and
Always. Yeah.
reaching out and being, with congratulations and everything. And
And asking
then
to
what
borrow
was
some
left
money.
was a couple of those.
Yeah.
And then what was cool was, we realized that like the people's concerns about what's going to happen to Lab are not unfounded if
Sure.
you
Yeah.
look at the reality of a huge number of private equity transactions. Like,
That's right.
the shit that people are afraid of does happen. Private equity comes in, they cut costs, they fire people,
Yep.
they do all kinds of shit just to make the most efficient buck for a certain period of time before they just off it to somebody else. And so I totally understand why people are concerned, and I have compassion for it, because, to your point, Hayes, like, yes, it's a huge compliment that people were that upset. It's because they mean that they loved it that much.
Yeah.
And so we've got to earn that trust back. And in that way, we're underdogs again, right? Where
Yeah.
we kind of do have people somewhat rooting for us to fail. Now every time we fuck up, it's like, oh, see, PE, come in and ruin everything. And so we have this new mission to be perfect. I mean, we have
Yeah.
to be fucking perfect, and we have to show people that this was not a cash grab, that El Catterton are not those people, and like, they didn't come in betting that they could do it better. The bet that they made was that we can do it better with more money.
Yeah.
And so the changes that are taking place, regarding management and operations and all that stuff, 100% of them were in the works. And were going to take place regardless of whether or not El Catterton came along. Like, I reached a point where I can no longer, from a true functional standpoint, be a CEO fucking 2 years ago, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, I'm
Sure.
wildly underqualified to be running, a multi-million-dollar international business.
You're a bar guy.
What's that?
You're a bar guy. What the hell?
I'm a fucking bar owner, like, yeah, and a golf nerd. And so, it was always going to be the case that at some point I'm, moving to making cool product and focusing on branding and stuff like that, while, we bring in proper professionals to do this stuff, because it ain't easy.
Yeah.
So all that stuff was going to happen regardless.
My favorite
And
was
it's an
my favorite is
exercise in patience. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just going to say my favorite was somebody put a Facebook comment that said, "Better get on Lab Golf Outlet and buy them all up while you can." Like,
Right.
You do that, buddy.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it was every day, dude. It was amazing. And that the one that had me like writing a fucking paragraph on Facebook on one of them was like, somebody like, the crooked grip things, just because of that Facebook page, is just like, people would think it's an epidemic.
Oh, yeah.
We have
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
data on this, dude. It is less than 1% of the grips that we send out into the world, are more than 1 degree off axis of where they're supposed to be. and somebody's like, puts up this grip. It was like 2 days after
I remember this post.
the Wall Street Journal article like came out. Somebody posted a picture of a
Quality's
crooked
falling
grip,
off.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I gotta
guys,
tell you.
we closed on Thursday. They've already replaced our entire QC and gripping staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a bunch of Vietnamese kids in the basement doing it now.
That's right. It's Sam's dogs that are putting the grips on now.
That's
so
right.
well, no, I was just gonna say you touched on it, but I think probably a lot of that initial scare was just the PE and what people think of PE.
For sure.
But I mean, personally, I'm happy that Lab is continuing on kind of as its own thing and not being bought by a TaylorMade, being bought by one of the other OEMs, and
That would have killed it.
That would have sucked because I want to root for Lab and see what Lab does next, not whatever huge OEM buys them and just puts it on the side.
Yeah, and people don't understand that in order for us to do what's next, to grow and to make this a truly global brand and to be able to innovate at the rate that we want and all of that stuff, and front load the amount of product that we need to now that we're available as often as we are.
Yeah,
we physically could not do it. There isn't a way to get enough cash in hand like to make those steps. Like this was an absolute necessity. We bootstrapped our way from negative to a $200 million valuation, and we had reached the end of the line. So now we have just incredible opportunity, and it's fucking happening too. We've already hired so many cool folks in the R&D department, some cool marketing folks, some cool exec folks, and
it's awesome.
It's gonna help.
It's awesome.
That's great.
I'm sure you can't say too much, but more. I have a specific request from a friend of ours who is a double wide fan. He's been asking for 3 years. He's really hoping you're going to say yes at some point.
I was gonna, but I'm so annoyed with him at this point that no, we actually have a prototype ready to go, but
Jamie,
like in the trash. Fuck
Jamie,
him.
I'm so sorry. No
Sorry,
double
pal.
wide for you. No, I every model you come out with, the temptation, and I know this is true from the Facebook users group, from Mr. Hayes over there who has two. I have two. Like the number of people who buy a Lab and end up.
I have two.
Brian also has two. So
and
also
Hayes,
end
you
up.
Didn't have one last time, right?
He did not have one last time. You are correct.
Since you asked. Right. No, remember I was your doubter.
You were in a Cameron.
Yeah.
Right. No, I was in a I don't even want to say this out loud. I had the Allen for a little bit, and then I was rolling an even roll. Yeah. And then I got the Oz with the insert. But the thing is, you said something that really, I'm a very obsessive personality. And when you were on that last episode that you were on, you described like kind of on the spectrum of forgiveness, that maybe DF3 was a little more forgiving than Oz. And between that and me finding the insert to be a little hotter than I would have preferred, I went with the DF3. And dude, I am such a better putter this year. I mean, it has really made.
That's great.
Now, I will add.
Oh, where'd he go?
He said he froze, but he'll be back if he can.
I will add.
Can't stand the platinum.
Sam, a little wrinkle for you. I started doing. I don't know if you've probably heard Sasha McKenzie talk about heads up putting.
Mm-hmm.
So I adopted that along with the DF3, and I mean, I can putt the lights out.
Dude, that's a great way to do it. Yeah, especially because that one and DF 2.1 is great for heads up putting too, just because they're so forgiving.
Yeah.
It's
do you guys know about these?
The True Fruit? No. What is this? Nature's raspberries. Is it just raspberries?
It's raspberry covered in chocolate frozen. They're fucking amazing.
You keep them in the freezer.
Yeah. As you're supposed to. It's it's like a little frozen treat.
FR stands for frozen.
I'm a big fan of the chocolate covered bananas that you keep in the freezer. Just like a little.
Oh yeah, I do those too. Diana's bananas.
But I will. Absolutely. Where do you find these, Brian? We've moved on to frozen fruit. Welcome back.
I would think you're anywhere at your local supermarket.
I'm back.
Okay, all right. This is not a Lab product.
No, heads up putting is phenomenal for the Lab users for sure.
Yeah.
it's definitely paid off for me. So thank you. You were right. I was wrong. You're very smart. I'm below
He's
average
very dumb.
intelligence.
That's right. Yes, exactly. You're very,
You
very
have
attractive.
wonderful,
He's very,
luxurious
very
hair. My hair is
unattractive.
gray and thinning. I can go on.
Mine's spinning too.
Sam, I will tell you that I
There's
showed
a lot more space there than there used to be. I cover it up.
I showed a picture of you to my kids because they said, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "Oh, this is my friend Sam." And they said, "Wow, he has a lot of hair." And I don't. It's more a comment on me, I think, than you. But it made me laugh, and I was like,
Hair, Daddy.
I have more back hair, so take that.
Right.
But
well, I'm glad
this
I
is exactly
rejoined
right.
for this.
Yeah, you missed it.
This is
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
Sam,
Really
I can't
just
thank you enough
tying this
for
up in a little bow perfectly.
for coming.
Let's go back to
again.
talking about
Yeah.
fabrics.
Yes.
Tell me more about the ballistic vinyl. But no, we've been talking about this since you were on last year, and we were all when JJ won, we were freaking out. Not just for him, not just for Lab, but because selfishly it meant that we got to talk to you again. So because you said if somebody wins a major next year, I'll come back on.
Anytime.
But yeah, I mean,
let's run it back. If we get another major in 2026, I'll come back on.
Yes.
Yes.
And
yes.
Because I got to buy another one of these putters anyways. So.
Well, I was going to say, like,
there we go.
How much did that move the needle when JJ won? Did you guys see an absolute, like, could you say, oh, there's an actual uptick here? Or is it just, you guys have just been on this upswing and it was just
it was certainly a lot blurrier than it was when Lucas won.
Yeah.
Web traffic was certainly much, much higher, for that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. But like we were not maxed out, but like, like people were logging on, like we had a bunch of abandoned carts because they were logging on at the time and we were already 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, retail sold out immediately, like all the box stores and stuff, but then we, the time didn't have product to get back to them. So, the demand was there. We just didn't have enough product for it to have been as, profound a moment as it was when Lucas won. Dollar for dollar, it was way more profound 3 years later. Sure. It's just, bigger company. Sure. But, but no, I think it just, I think it did a lot for like Lab users, the same thing that it did for me, which is like, I no longer have to justify using this crazy ass putter. Like, I know, so yeah, it's been big. And then, just in general, I mean, ever since then, between that and then the transaction was a big story and, all of it, there's just, certainly a lot of Lab hum around the world still.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you come to the Genesis this year, because I'm fingers crossed we're back in the Palisades, because obviously we weren't last year because of the fires. But if you're back, please, I'd love to come and hang and buy you a drink. So I owe you at least that.
I love coming to Riviera, so maybe I will.
Yeah, it's
all right, guys.
An awesome course. Sam, I can't thank you enough. Sam. Really for your time and just for just your general sense of humor. It's greatly appreciated. So
yes, good catching up, Sam. Congratulations on the great year,
Sam. Thank you.
Blessed with this team every time. We'll see you.
All right, man. See you.
Bye.
I mean, I told you it was fun, right? I mean, it's not like I lied. Anyway, thank you, Sam. Thank you for coming on. I really, really appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your candor. And we wish nothing but the best for Lab, for you, for everybody involved. Super grateful for your time. And we are definitely running this one back because there's no way one of the Lab guys doesn't win another major. I'm convinced. Anyway, I've got a round on Friday with my DF3. So look at me. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Email us at bogeyballsociety@gmail.com. Any questions, comments, concerns, think I've asked for recipes before. Nobody's hit me up with any recipes. What's happening? We're coming up on the holiday season. I would like some fun stuff to be able to bring. You know, like we go to parties. I want to be able to say my listener recommended this. Singular listener. Sean, you know who you are. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, bye.